I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're exploring a fabulous book. It is called Legends of War, Sparrow's War in the Garden of Bliss. It is a powerful, multi-generational saga filled with forbidden love, family legacies, and a mysterious curse. It is written by a wonderful author by the name of C.A. Portnellus, and she weaves a historical detail with gripping emotional drama in a story that spans centuries of hope, heartbreak, and redemption. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her wonderful book. The links are below this interview. And be sure to download the Spotlight Network TV app streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Christiane, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
I'm very excited to be here talking with you today.
I'm excited to have you on the show. Your books are amazing. This is part of a series, correct?
Yes, it is. It is. There are actually 13 books in the series. 5 have been published. 2 are waiting on the runway, waiting to go to the publishers. So out of the 13, 9 are written, and they're
Um,
just waiting.
Amazing.
So,
13 books. How long have you been working on this story?
uh, believe it or not, this is kind of a fluky thing, but I began writing the storyline in 2009, and within like 3, 4 months, I realized that this is not just one story; it's many, many stories, and because it seemed like it was growing into a legacy,
Yeah.
a family's legacy, and so I within that 3, 4 months, I had written 5 books,
Amazing.
or at least the foundations of 5 books. And then in that time, then I spent a lot of time, um, you know, looking up history and weaving historical events into those books. And so it's kind of an exciting, fun thing. I'm a history nut at heart and an avid reader.
Hmm.
So it was very exciting to write that. And it was kind of a strange thing, but it came to me late one night and in a dream. And for almost a month, almost every night, it was lucid dreaming, and I was writing the books.
Amazing. Well, good thing you remembered those dreams. Good thing you took notes. Good thing you were in a writing stage in your life at that point because
Yeah.
these books are wonderful. What inspired you to create the LeBar family and their legacy?
Uh, I really like history, and I also have some interesting ties with family and the legacy of like the family tree and who's a hero, who's the black sheep, who ends up becoming somebody famous, and out of that, the majority of the family are their nobodies, So it's and then that curse comes in for the third sons, that dates back to the late 1600s, and so that whole legacy for the Labar family came in, and all the characters just started just coming out of the woodworks. Literally, I start writing, and it's like it just takes me down a road, and
Exactly.
some of it's planned. Some of it's planned. I want to achieve a certain goal or get to a certain point,
Mm.
and but it's like driving down the highway,
Yeah.
and at least it is for me, and it just comes, and then I spend time uh, looking up history to weave into those stories. And so, for example, in my own history, my stepmother was French.
Mm.
She was actually French. My father married her, and she had very interesting tales to tell. She was a teenager, a young woman during World War II, and when the Germans had taken over France. And so my book, Legends of War, has a dedication to her.
Wow.
And so that was she was sort of an inspiration and my silent little muse.
Tell us about the
That
idea of a generational curse. Can you expand on that a little bit for the audience without
sure,
ruining anything?
sure. Um, we actually reveal it in the very first book, which is Prelude to War. Uh, but it comes out in family stories. And so whenever anything bad happens, they go, "Oh, it must be the curse. You messed up. The curse is hitting you. Look out, everybody. Here comes the curse." And the curse is something that it hits the third sons.
Hmm.
And back in the 1600s, a third son had ruined a girl and refused to marry her and just sort of left her heartbroken. And the mother came and said, "You must marry my daughter, or I will put a
A
bad
curse on
bad
you.
spell on you, a curse." And so she did. She
Yeah.
did. And so it follows these third sons. And the family believes that if three successive generations of third sons, grandpa, father, grandson, all live exemplary lives, that maybe this curse will break. Well, they still believe in this thing so much so that 300 years later, they're still in the thrall of the supposed curse.
Mhm.
And so that gives us that extra little oomph because Barton Barre is the last of the third sons.
Hmm.
And so everything is stemming upon him. He is hopefully going to break the curse by his actions. And then, but yet he's a loose cannon.
As
He's
most
he's sort of
intriguing characters are.
yeah, he's the protagonist and he is a wild child. He was sort of the spoiled boy, the last of the boys, and he has his moments of brilliance and audacity, and then he has his moments where he's just a mess.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
so, uh, but because of his upbringing, his father believes that he's given him all the good things so that he can, you know, lead
yeah.
a moral life and be good. Um, and he just ends up sort of uh, doing his own thing. There is a family motto that is kind of important. And back in the 1600s, it originally said we fly with the winds.
Mhm.
But once they hit America and were became Americans, it became nous sommes contre les vents. We fly against the winds.
Mhm.
And that is definitely Barton because he's a contrarian and he might say one thing and then do something else.
Yeah.
And it's the spur of the moment. The temptation hits him and he just goes. And so he always believes that this motto fits him very well because he will find his own destiny. He will drive his own fortunes. He will make make it or break it himself. So for him to come home from college and uh, being a college graduate. He comes home early and wants to beat the job market, get a great job. And what does he do? He meets up with his crazy friends, and they're sort of disreputable and goofy guys. And next thing he knows, he's enlisted in the army.
Hmm.
And of course, that just about breaks his father's heart because he's like, "No, we can't lose him." And you know why? Because he's the third son.
Exactly. There's a curse on the third son. This is an
Yeah.
amazing story. It's an epic story. It's an amazing saga. You, of course, have lived in the Hollywood area, so I've got to ask you, have you envisioned this as a TV series or a series of films?
The books could definitely be a mini series of episodes. Definitely Legends of War can be a movie.
Yeah.
It's compelling enough. It has enough action. It does follow actual history, even though the characters are fictional and they're woven into those real histories, like any good fictional historical novel. So, but yes, it would make a very compelling film.
I agree. Between the characters, the curse, the settings, and the family intrigue, I think it would be a fantastic series of films. Or they do great jobs with the series nowadays on Amazon and Netflix and all of the others
Right.
as well. So, Hollywood, if you're listening, here are 13 books that are ready to go. We've been exploring a wonderful series today. It's called Legends of War. Specifically, we've been talking about Sparrow's War in the Garden of Bliss, a powerful multi-generational saga filled with forbidden love, family legacies, and a family curse. The author weaves a rich historical detail with gripping emotional drama in a story that spans centuries of hope, heartbreak, and redemption. Christiane, thank you so much for joining me here today on
Thank
Spotlight.
you. It was good to be here and good to talk about the books. Get an author talking about a book and you'll never shut them up.
Well, that's a good thing. You got a lot to talk about. You got a lot of books to talk
Yeah.
about, and you did a great job here today. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.